Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Chris Clothier, again, your host with the Grind Podcast, bringing you one more podcast this week. Thank you very much for joining us. I've had a fantastic week. Hopefully you have. And I wanted to talk this week about something that kind of comes up every once in a while. I see it every once in a while in the forums, different real estate forums that I belong to. It's a very popular topic. It's one that's been written about quite often, lots of books and articles, and everybody's got this idea of how to do certain things. And there's always a new expert out there to tell you how easy it is to invest in real estate, especially passive real estate, far from home, and you do it all yourself. And I'm actually going to take today's podcast to kind of break down some of the myths around how easy it is to do real estate on your own. Now, I want you to hear me all the way out on this too, that if you want to invest on your own, if you don't want to use a partner or a company, I'm going to use the word turnkey. If you don't want to use a turnkey company or some form of a vetted partner to be able to help you build out your portfolio, no problem. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to make sure that I pop a few bubbles here before people start thinking that it's just as simple as I'm going to pick a market, find a house, hire somebody to fix it up, throw a tenant into there, have them pay me some money every week, and it's just as easy as somebody else says it is. You know, there's a lot of gurus out there. Oh, God, I hate that word. I can't believe I just used it. There's a lot of people out there that they grab the mantle of guru on their own and they claim it for themselves and say that they are super smart. They've written their how-to book and they're going to teach you how to do what they've done 3 times. And that's the problem. You know, somebody gets out there and they may or may not even have success, and they decide that it's easier to sell a book than it is to actually do it, and they want to get out there and show you how to do something yourself. Here's my issue, and y'all have heard me talk about this before. I have no problem with companies or even individuals that have spent a lot of time. They've got a lot of experience, and that experience leads to expertise, which makes them an expert in their field. But I have an issue with people that don't have that experience. They may have had success. They may have had a property or a couple of properties, and they decide they're going to tell you how to do it. What's even worse is someone who doesn't do what they write about. And there are some serious examples out there, people telling you how to invest far from home, out of state, and they don't do it themselves. That's a no-no. But I'm gonna hit my topic this week is all about do-it-yourself real estate investing. Kind of busting some of these myths that people say that you can make as much, if not more money, if you were to buy property far from home by yourself than using a company, specifically a turnkey company. So with that, here we go. Some of the biggest myths that get thrown around are right off the top. The biggest one, the one that is the most attractive to most people, is you can save yourself a lot of money by doing it yourself instead of going with, say, a turnkey company or buying a property from some partner who's already done most of the work for you. Look, I'm just going to tell you straight up, can you save money? Well, the answer to that is yes and no, because can you save money in the price you pay for a house? Answer is absolutely yes. Yes, you can. How much will it be? Well, let's talk about some of the reasons why you're not going to save a ton here. The number one, if you're buying property let's just say you're going to buy a property right here in Memphis, Tennessee, where I'm located, and you want to go and you want to use an agent to buy houses here in Memphis, and you want to buy one house, and you want to buy it in a popular investment area where the values are going to hold, the renters are going to be there in demand, and you feel like there's a high probability of you being successful. Okay. Those areas, number one, are going to be heavily purchased by companies like mine. And not just me, but also other companies, other investment individuals, other people that are out there buying their own portfolios from right here in town that live here in Memphis. You're going to have the hedge funds. You're going to have every single person out there that wants to invest in real estate is going to be looking for the same things you're looking for. And here's going to be the real kicker. You're looking for one property. And the only way you're going to be able to compete on one property is to come in with a banging price and just a contract that is ironclad, such as big earnest money down, non-refundable, no inspection, close quick. You might be able to get away with a really high price and not the other items. But what just happened? The second you said, I want to pay the high price I must pay in order to beat a company like, say, an REI Nation that buys 30 to 40 houses a month, and we're only one of dozens of people that buy here in Memphis and buy in some of the best investment areas, you're automatically behind the eight ball. Right off the bat, you're no longer saving money. You may pay less than what you pay for a finished product from a turnkey company, but you're already paying more than they would have paid. So is there room to grow? Of course there is. Is there room to make a profit? Sure there is. But you are going to have to outpay the other companies that are there. So don't think that right off the bat, there's a lot of houses I'm going to go in, I'm going to undercut everybody, I'm going to pay cheap, I'm going to get a house with a lot of equity left in it and a lot of room left to play. You might be able to, but you have to consider this for yourself. If you go in and you win a deal and there was nobody else bidding on it, why? Do they know something that you don't know? If you win a deal and there were a lot of people bidding on it, you just had your price bid up. You had to pay above what everyone else was willing to pay in order to get it. So right off the bat, DIY, you're behind the eight ball. Now, let's talk about renovations. You get your house. So far, you have bought this house for less than what you would have paid for a finished product from a turnkey company. But now you need to get it fixed the way a good turnkey company is going to fix it. Well, here we go. You've got one job. You don't have a job after it. You didn't have a job yesterday. Today, you've got just this one job here. You need to hire vendors and tradespeople to do the work on. The issue here is that when tradespeople and vendors are doing dozens and dozens of jobs a month for particular companies around the city, they get strong pricing. All right. No companies are paying the full retail out of the Yellow Pages price for work when they're doing dozens upon dozens of jobs in a month. And then most of these companies, especially the bigger ones, they're managing properties as well, which means there's additional work going to these vendors on the management side. So you are going to come in needing to do one job, needing to make one hire. Are you going to be able to negotiate the same pricing that a company, particularly a turnkey company, would get? The answer is no. And probably not even close. Probably not even within 20 to 30% of what a large company doing multiple deals is doing. So now you've got a vendor hired, but you just paid a premium 20 to 30% higher than what other companies are paying. At that point, a company that is doing high volume can get things done quickly. For us, I'm looking to turn a renovation from the day I buy it to the day I place it on the rental market, 30, maybe 45 days. And I've got the vendors lined up, ready to go back to back. We sub them out perfectly where when one's done, the next one's ready to rock and roll. Well, is the same going to be said true for an out-of-state investor who's trying to hire these tradesmen and these vendors on their own? Can it be done? Of course it can. You can run a very tight ship, but it's difficult, okay? It's difficult. We'll get to that here in a second. Let's just say that you get that job done in the same amount of time, but you paid 30% more on a house you already paid more than what a turnkey company would have purchased it for. Are you ahead? In most scenarios, no. In most scenarios, you're not ahead. You are even at best and maybe even a little bit higher than other companies would have paid. Now comes the real back end, where the real rub starts. You want to get the property managed. I'm going to do a whole nother podcast about why you should never, or why you should hire a property manager and never manage a property yourself. But let's say that at this point you wise up and you put a management company on it. Let's do our math and go back and look and see where we are. The number one resource you misplaced in all of this is time. Because even if you're able to save 10% on a $150,000 house, that's a significant amount of money. But when you look back at the amount of time you spend on managing a project and getting a project across the finish line, Did it equate to what it is you want to make per hour? Did it actually save you money or not? 10% would be magnificent. 10% would mean that you either cut corners or you bought a property that others don't want to buy. It is almost, not entirely, but almost impossible to be able to compete with large scale operations and get things done at volume at the same price that a volume person does, especially when you're doing just one-offs. So DIY, far from home, does it save you money? I argue no. Most that I've met, most that I know, it does not even come close to saving money. What about saving time? That's a definite no. Because in order to be able to run an operation, oversee renovations, oversee other people, oversee from the buying to the completing your renovation, getting it onto the market to rent, it takes time. And it takes somebody that is cracking the whip. Believe me, far from home, if you think you're going to be able to do this on every Thursday evening, looking up at your spreadsheet and seeing where things stand and doing some emails here and there, it's not going to happen. This is a constant daily time suck. And investors that think that they can do it themselves far from home, they will all tell you that it's not for the person that wants to be passive, because it's not passive. Can it be done? Absolutely. Can you save money? Sure you can. It's not easy, and it takes an incredible amount of time and effort on their part. It's a full-time job, even from afar. So does it save money? I would argue no, but can it? Yes, it could be done. Does it save you time? Not even close. Absolutely not. Lastly, and this is the one that really kind of makes me laugh the most, is when people say that you can do things like buy real estate far from home. You can manage it far from home. You can oversee the renovations far from home. And there's always these pros that are added in, like the intimate knowledge that you gain, which is super important. But why the heck would you go far from home and make it hard on yourself when you could invest close to home? Why not just do something closer to where you're at, where you can, have it right there with you? Because far from home, one of the biggest, areas of issue that I take with this is when people say that technology exists to be able to do this. All it is you use this piece of technology, that program, plug this in over here, get all your data over there, go find your contractors here, pay them like this, get your invoices in. I mean, everybody, there's a easy button for everything. And the reality is that easy buttons don't work. All they do is they're cute and they make lots of noise. But the reality is that it's not. These don't do anything. They sit here and look cute. Most technology is all designed to make your life easier, but it's not necessarily going to do the work for you. It's not necessarily going to be the end all be all, the reason it's going to make you successful. I am very sour on do it yourself far from home. And I know real estate. There is zero, like even here, I work full-time at REI Nation and I invest in real estate, and I do not manage any of the processes myself. None of them. I outsource everything back to REI Nation. I buy my houses turnkey from REI Nation. I don't sit here and mess with this. I don't have time for it. A whole team of people built and designed specifically to make life easier for passive investors, and that's what I want to be. So if you're inclined to be full-time and you want to work far from home, it's not easy. You can do it. You can be successful, but don't think it's going to be this massive money saver. It's probably not. Don't think that you're going to put a little bit of time into it, because you're probably wrong. And don't think that there's a bunch of technology out there that just makes life easier because that's what it's designed to do, because it doesn't. Everything is designed from start to finish to be able to work together. And if you don't have the time, the money, and the knowledge to be able to purchase, renovate, and manage properties far from home, you need to go with somebody that's already there, tried and true, because ultimately in the end, whatever price you pay will most likely save you money over what you would pay on your own. Guys, thanks for joining me this week. That was the quick down and dirty podcast on DIYs. I get a lot. You would be surprised how many times I get questioned on this, especially on the Bigger Pockets website, where people, they just want advice on it because they're fearful. They're fearful that they're overpaying and that they're missing out on an opportunity to gain equity. They're missing out on an opportunity to, be able to to reap all the benefits of real estate. And the reality is that unless you are 100% active and really driving your business, you're missing out on opportunities anyway. The balance is, what am I willing to give up for what I'm willing to get? And there's a give and take here with passive real estate, especially when you want to buy far from home in great markets. If you're not in one of those great markets, there's a give and take. Part of what you are giving up is some of what is the perceived value, some of the perceived profit you think you can get, but what you get on the backside with a good company, it's certainly possible, not with everybody, but with a good company, what you get in return is peace of mind, ability to sleep well at night, and knowing that I've invested in a property or with a company that is going to bring me great long-term value, and I didn't have to sacrifice my time, and ultimately I don't feel like I lost money doing it. That's the feeling you're going for. Guys, until we get a chance to meet again, make sure you find us on social media. Send us your comments, send us your questions. Happy to engage with everybody. Really appreciate you listening. Guys, until we meet again, commit to the grind.